You know the sounds. You know what it is. Let's not act brand new now. Welcome back for another brand new episode of the Mismanagement Podcast with your two most favorite co-hosts in the entire world, Mouse Eduardo and my boy Brett, the White Rhino. Brother, before we start off this episode, I always ask the most important question of them all before we embark on this craziness journey today. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm so glad you ask me this every time because,
Is that a Bucky shirt? Sorry.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, dude.
that caught my attention. I'm like, what the hell?
You know how many bathrooms they got?
Oh, dang. I've never been to one.
Neither have I.
No, you haven't?
No, just somebody that went to one, brought me one. I just need to throw something on real quick today. So kind of what I did.
It's part of the swag, though. You want it's something vintage, nothing crazy, but something well known, right?
Yeah.
It's a conversation starter, like they would say.
It's
Pretty much.
Well, for me, it's kind of like just a pajama shirt, Like right after we're done with this, I'll probably just crash.
Go home and sleep.
Yeah.
It sounds like a perfect Saturday.
And my other pajama shirt's like a Disneyland shirt that we went down there in Disneyland and I figured that wouldn't be too appropriate for the pod,
Yeah.
Show up in Disney.
Yeah, we got to stick to our hard look, since we're pretty hardcore over here.
We're gonna look dangerous in our Bucky shirt.
All right, well, that's good, brother. So today, people, I actually do want to remind you folks, there's a large percentage of you that watch our content, that enjoy our content as well. And just a reminder, if you want to support the pod, the only one way you can do it for free, yes, you heard it here, for free, is, of course, follow our pages. We're on Instagram, on YouTube. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube page and, engage with us. Comment, like all our stuff, and just, keep the conversation going. We try to plug up, our different clips and just try to, create a description to where we can engage with our followers and just get a conversation out there with all the craziness and wildness in regards to topics that we talk about here on the podcast, of course. So, that'll be a tremendous way for you to help us out and to expand the podcast even more into the algorithm. So if you could do a solid for us, me and Brett would definitely appreciate that. So, subscribe, like, follow, all that jazz. So just want to remind you, all you folks, in regards to that. But today, brother, we have a nice little agenda of, randomness here to talk about. A lot of the stuff I think we've touched base in the past previous episodes before, but just new things keep popping up in regards to these topics. I feel like they try to slither into where, when you think you're done with something, but no, you're not. No, you're not done with it. No. Here, here's more for you. You know
We're
what I'm
actually
saying?
just getting started on some of this.
Oh yeah, we are getting started with this. So we've touched base before here on this amazing podcast that you're listening to wherever you are, in regards to what they call we'll title it the expressway kill switch, Brett. So do you want to touch base on kind of what we've talked about before in regards to the new cars after the year? So it's next year, actually. We're just around the corner. Fill in the people what they're going to try to do with these new cars after 2027 and newer.
Yeah, I mean, after 2027 and on, they're going to be loaded with basically surveillance technology. They've got AI. They have they're connected directly to who knows who.
Yeah, that's the question.
But other people who can control your vehicle, that are obviously monitoring your vehicle, monitoring you in your vehicle, listening to your conversations. A lot of people like to have conversations in the cars, and but now we know that Big Brother is in our car with us, for those of us that choose to explore that technology. But that's kind of where we're at, is just you are going to drop, I don't know, 60 to 100K on on a vehicle that you can't really call your own, because somebody, if you miss a payment, you miss this, that, they're going to be able to control you.
Yes. And also, I sometimes sit and wonder about this stuff and think to myself, well, for me, it is kind of a red flag. No, it is a red flag. It's definitely, now you're kind of tiptoeing into infringing one's privacy, to where, why is it that we need mics and why is it that we need cameras in these vehicles? And, I'm certain for sure that they're going to be running 100% of the time while you're in the vehicle, correct? Mm-hmm. That's kind of I think that's the main goal for this happening, right? But I wonder if people. I want to take a vote down below. You know, if you're listening to this episode on wherever you're at, even on, especially on YouTube, probably let us know down below. Do you care at all about this? Like, is this something that you think you don't even think about? You're like, whatever. You know, it is what it is. It's not going to affect me. I'm not doing anything illegal. But or is there people that like, yes, it is infringing on our, it's invasion of privacy. Just bare bones, right? That's what it is. But do people really care? Do you think people really, are going to be, I guess, rioting if the more that we're tiptoeing to this direction?
I think that people are choosing to ignore it. I think a lot of people aren't even aware of it. But the people that are aware, the majority of people that are accepting this, I think that because these cameras and these microphones and these connections to the parties listening to all of this, surveilling us, they can't see them, right? And so it's just like it's like a police interrogation where you have the windowed room, and so the suspect will often feel comfortable talking to the investigator if they have a good rapport, but if they knew who was on the other side of that window, maybe they wouldn't. Right. And so it's sort of one of those out of sight, out of mind type things. If they were, I mean, imagine if you could see who was listening to you, right. And just say, hey, you have to physically be there.
Yeah.
I want to see what you're doing. You would be up in arms, but it's just that people are not connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Think of the damage that could be done. Say you are political or you have a controversial stance on a certain political topic.
Yeah.
And then so someone who is monitoring your GM vehicle data ends up hearing you talking about some very controversial things, your takes on certain issues. And then they leak it.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Blackmail, right?
Everybody that says they have nothing to hide is absolutely lying.
Mm-hmm.
We all have something to hide. Every single one of us.
There's always skeletons in the closet. Yeah. True. And the reason why we're bringing up this topic, right? Because I know this topic's been brought up before, I would say a couple times, but there was a viral video that recently has gone out and people are now discussing this. And this has to do with a gentleman named Scott Lubick. So via TikTok, there was a video of him claiming that his Ford Bronco turned off while he was going 60 miles per hour in light traffic. I think in light traffic, and it just turned off. And the reason behind this is because they disabled it remotely because he missed a payment.
The company, the car company,
or whoever's controlling,
Ford.
maybe the finance, whoever it is, right? But think about this: you're cruising along, you claim you made your payment, right? But what if somehow there was some interference in regards to making your payment didn't go through? Because there's always going to be something that could prevent that from happening, right? Straight up, and you're driving along the way, and boom, your car shuts off.
Yeah.
Imagine I'm just saying, man, this thing, when they roll it, if and when, hopefully they don't, but let's say this rolls out. Can you imagine the accidents that could potentially happen due to this?
It's scary. I mean,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I could not imagine. I mean, picture us, right? We're on our freeway. We drive the freeway every single day. And then suddenly your vehicle stops in the middle of a freeway.
Yeah.
And we have Washington drivers. They're crazy enough. Do you know what state this was in?
This was in I do not know what exact state this was in. But let me try to look it up.
Yeah, but Washington drivers, we have
Florida.
I
think Florida.
Okay, that
Florida,
would be pretty bad as well. But I know that in Washington they say that 1 out of 5 drivers is uninsured.
Really?
1 out of 5 motorists are uninsured. Yeah. So
that is crazy. So yeah, he had roughly 3,000 miles on it, and the car just shut off on him while he was driving. And I want to say it is in Florida, I believe. But nonetheless, though, I mean, just imagine, you're cruising along, somehow, like I said, your payment didn't go through, didn't clear, or it could be some anti-theft, it didn't recognize the person driving the car. What if it's somebody else?
Right.
They're like, oh no, this person's not the person that usually drives this car. Boom, shuts off.
Yep.
Insane. Dude.
It's and there, there's another story that's somewhat similar to this, and I think this was also in Florida.
Yeah.
If this story was in Florida, but there was another guy who had bought a truck, and so then suddenly he's in this parking lot and he's getting cornered by police. The police even hit the truck so that they rammed his truck, brand new truck. The guy hadn't even made his first payment on it yet. And they rammed the truck, damaged the truck. And he's looking at it like, what's going on? Well, the person, the dealer who sold him the car messed up on the paperwork. And then when they did a lot inventory, they found the one that was supposed to be on the lot was the one they gave the guy, and then the other one, the one he was supposed to have, was still on the lot. Something like that. And so they ended up, I mean, the police, he's surrounded by like 4 cars. One of the police SUVs rams him, and that was all. And I think he had to go to jail. He was super calm throughout the whole thing, but and it ended up coming out that police at the police station realized there was an issue. Like, I think there's something wrong here. And it ended up being, so I think that this guy is suing the car company for doing all this.
That's insane. So just a quick little fun fact. So in regards to Ford, in 2021, Ford actually filed a patent for a, quote, repossession computer system. The patent described a step-by-step punishment system for late payments. First, it disables your AC and then your radio. Then it plays an incessant, unpleasant sound through the speakers. And if it's an autonomous car, it literally drives itself back to repossession lot. Ford later abandoned the patent due to public backlash. Do you think? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of hard to believe that due to backlash, they kicked back on that patent.
Well, it's like these city council meetings that are canceling or delaying all these flock installations.
Oh, okay, that or I thought we were gonna say the data centers, but you just continue.
Yeah. Well, I was talking either way, right? You can go either way, but I was talking about the flocks. But this is the same thing. They due to public backlash, they canceled it, they scrapped it. But who knows? Just all that has to happen is another company comes out and says, actually, let's go ahead and do that, and then suddenly, discreetly, quietly, Ford comes in and goes ahead and does it themselves. And where do they are the manufacturer, where do they get the authority to be able to do this? That should be on the dealer. But really, you shouldn't, like, what is wrong with Repo Joe?
Yeah, right. Now you're taking another job, right?
Another job, right? But I mean, again, it's like we're in this Wild West time in technology where it's like you have all of this power, right? But it's like, how do you hone it in and use it appropriately? Right? It's like the guy who bench presses 300 pounds and whatever. Like, yeah, he can punch through a wall, he can bust a bunch of windows, he can do all that. But does that mean that he should?
Yeah.
So these tech nerds have all this ability, but does it really mean you should?
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting though, because I feel like this would fall more in line with the loaning companies that loan people this money, not the actual automaker. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's go hand in hand, where I guess they do go together, where it's the car gets loaned out by whoever bank loans you that money. They work,
the dealer. The dealer buys it from the manufacturer. And so, you could put a device on there that would do the same thing.
Yeah. But
then once that automobile is paid off, the buyer, the owner, should be able to take that device off.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I can see that. But man, it's 2027 is just around the corner, man. It's coming. And they say, I mean, right here it says that they've pushed back on it, that they're not going to do it, but who's to say that it's still kind of in the works, low key? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it sort of like stuff like this just makes you want to buy only old vehicles.
Yes, and we've discussed that before off pod, low key, where we would talk and say, man, I don't know about these new cars coming out. Even just with all the technology that's just tied into them, it's all electrical at this
Too
point.
much.
It's just too much. Like where they try to, they're trying to do this. They're trying to avoid the fact that they don't want to even have you work on your own car. You have to take it to the dealership. We have to charge you a premium of $2,000+ for you to do your brakes or do whatever, right? They don't want you to do that yourself and save some money. Nope. They need you to take it to the dealership and then have them do it.
Yep.
So there's multiple things. But in regards to that, perfect segue to our next topic, Brett. You brought this up to my attention. And I'm like, wait a minute. That would be almost the perfect way to steer people to get new cars. Because, of course, like yours truly right here, I like to go to the pick and pull every now and then to, find some stuff. I have an older car, an older Honda, right? And every now and then I like to just kind of, browse by to see maybe if I can find some parts I could potentially use in the future, right? Just to kind of get ready just for whatever may come. But my boy here, he showed me a video, I think it was a video and article, right, talking about this. And this is in regards to the random junkyard fires that are happening in New Jersey, Georgia, and Florida.
So far
that we know of, right? And then you're kind of sitting back here and wondering, like, wait, they're just junkyard fires. Why should we care? It's just, they're junkyards, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of the time, some parts can be bought from maybe the store or whatever, or they could be, think about this, they can discontinue any parts to be remade from any of these, big time, like O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Napa, all that. I mean, I'm sure you can find it via the interwebs, like on Amazon or eBay, whatever. But what if they put a stop to that and say, like, for any car from, let's say 1999 to, 2006, no more parts are ever going to be made. What's your only way to go to at that point to go find those alternative car parts?
Oh, look, there's a junkyard.
The junkyards. But wait, somehow they're just all of a sudden lighting up on fire?
Mysterious.
Mysterious. So I don't know, man. It seems very
convenient.
Yes, convenient, and almost kind of the timing of this where we're just around the corner of 2027. So in Opelika, Florida, it's an 80 fire rescue units have been sent there for at the Miami skyline. It forced an evacuation of 125 local residents due to flying debris and explosions. So it sounds like it was a pretty big fire.
Yeah.
So crushed lithium EV batteries are saying that this was the cause of the ablaze. Let's see. For facts. These scrapyard fires are causing a massive hidden economic ripple effect. They are destroying regional supplies of used auto parts, which is driving up everyday car repair costs and tightening insurance claims for normal drivers.
Yeah. Yeah. And imagine if that continues.
Right? And this is just one, like I said, out of the 3 states that this is happening, this is just one of the few, right, that are currently, that have happened, right? So, I don't know, man. Like this may be like too much of a coincidence, but for us, we like to put the tinfoil hats on. I don't know where mine's at, but I would put it on right now. It just seems very suspicious that out of all the, I don't know, it just seems to me like it's almost like a planned thing.
Yeah, I live in a world where there are no coincidences.
Yes.
So when you see some things and they connect,
yeah,
they usually connect for a reason.
Yeah.
There's usually some things that tie in together. And we've seen this before with food supply issues. Suddenly, they're talking about some disease running through, salmonella, whatever, right? And then all of a sudden you're hearing about all these fires that are killing all the chickens.
Yeah.
And then eggs are going through the roof.
Or these ticks are supposedly making people allergic to meat, all that stuff. Somehow there's an increase in ticks. We talked about it in the past previous episode. But somehow there's been, a lot more people have, like I said, on the internet, via the internet, have been talking about that, where they've had a few family members that got bit by it. And it's just, it's a horrendous thing because they can't touch meat anymore.
Yeah, see,
and I'm like, is that suspicious?
And it all started when the people threw that pie in the face of Bill Gates. Have you ever seen that picture?
No, I haven't.
Oh, yeah.
Look it up right
That's the day that Bill Gates decided to kill the world.
Really?
Yeah. Go ahead and pull that up.
God, I got.
Show-
Oh
show our-
yeah.
Show our friendly audience.
Oh, was this the cause of Bill Gates unleashing his bioengineered ticks? Oh man, dude, somebody let him have it. Like, you will feel my wrath.
Yeah, so that was the way. That was the day that Bill Gates decided to.
1998, huh?
Yeah,
That was a few years
98
ago.
Yeah, and then yeah, and then ever since then, he's been coming up with cures for all kinds of diseases, like eating meat. People shouldn't eat meat. Let's go ahead and give you some gal syndrome.
Why do they tie that with global warming? That the cows
Allegedly, by the way, allegedly.
So-
I'm not
so-
saying that Bill Gates really did that. Wink.
Yeah, right.
Nod.
We don't want to get sued to the ground, man. I swear, but no. Why do they say that the cow farts is one of the main? It's a huge global warming factor.
So that was the theory that the eco terrorist would use, right?
Okay.
But then the university, I believe it's the University of Nebraska, they actually did a study and found that cow farms actually help the environment.
Oh, okay.
So the information, and this is the thing, anytime, cows have been here for eons. Humans have relied on cows forever, and we've been eating animals. We've been doing the natural thing, and our world has been just fine this whole time. It wasn't until Taylor Swift started flying her 747, all over the air and flying 10 of them all at once that they started having an issue. But then they didn't blame her. They blamed us for eating meat.
We don't want to avoid the fact that T Swift has to go to France or wherever to get her gelato or whatever. But Brett, you're eating too much steak on a regular Monday to Friday basis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Got to cut that out. But here, have a tick. Have a tick.
Oh man, it is wild, man. Rules for thee, but not for me, right? Isn't that how the saying
Something
goes?
like that.
But no, it's that's one thing we want to keep an eye on, people. Just these patterns. I wouldn't want to say you want to refer to this as patterns that we're seeing where it's happening too often. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pattern recognition.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So me and Brad are kind of on that same, rhythm of, it's just happening too frequent where we just kind of need to keep an eye on it. And that's why we want to bring it to the masses and talk about it here on the pod. So people are all aware, be like, oh, I heard that on the podcast.
What if we're
Coincidence?
wrong? Maybe you can tell us where we're wrong.
Yeah, we're not pros by any means. I do want to point out in a comment somebody had left me that apparently I can't. You're good on the C2, by the way.
Yeah,
I played,
I'm good, I'm
okay,
good.
making sure. I'm kind of paranoid, thinking like,
Oh, no. I'm just positioning.
No, but somebody had left a lovely comment saying, "Oh, great." So I don't know. Can you recap what he said? I'm a horrible memory. But he'll pull it up. But nonetheless, people, the shades are pretty dark because the future is bright, of course. So we want to protect the eyes, the ojos. But sometimes these things legitimately get in the way of me reading some of the stuff on the screen here. So my apologies on that. That I do my best. It's kind of like that meme where it's like it's not much, but it's honest work.
Yeah. Our friendly commenter said, imagine only reading at a grade 5 level and choosing to read on a podcast.
I started laughing so hard when I read that comment because I'm like, I admit it every time. I'm like, I am a horrible reader. Like I have my good days and I have my bad days, but sometimes there's words that I come across and I'm like, do I want to take a stab at it? And it always brings like PTSD back in the days when I was in school because I could have sworn there was a few times where kids would laugh at me when I couldn't, say the word correctly when I would be reading it. Yeah. So I brought those little memories back. But at this point, I'm like, I can't give a fuck, dude. Really, it's like as long as I get by, I'm A-okay.
Dude, I almost sent you this video, but I saw this video almost right after you sent me that text, right? And so I was like, well, I don't want to send this video to him while the wound is still open, right? Because I didn't want you to think I was aiming it to you, right? Yeah. But there was this guy, there was this guy who had went in, I want to say like an inner city, urban environment. Yeah. And he, he had an index card and he was giving all of the youth, like I want to say young adults, this index card to read. Yeah. And it had words like exquisite. I think I've seen it. Yeah. Right? And, dude, they are struggling, right?
Oh, bro. Like, I'm like, it made me feel better. I'm like, oh. at least some of the words I can pronounce.
100%. And maybe I missed that, right? But I didn't want you to think I was dogging on you. But
it would have been perfect timing though.
Laughing when I saw it. I mean, laughing, but also crying. Like one thing at home, I've always been a pretty good reader. And I love reading. I don't know how many books I read a year, but
you're a bookworm for sure. Yeah.
And right now I'm reading about the Bolsheviks.
Oh, interesting topic.
That's talk about pattern recognition.
Wink, wink.
But that's for another day. Yeah, but I do the
chapter.
same thing with my daughter. I'm like, no, you are going to go into this world and you are going to read. I don't care. You're reading all summer.
Say, I don't want them to catch you slipping one of those little index cards and try to school you.
Exactly. You're going to be the one that outdoes them all.
Right. But no, nonetheless, man, just a reminder, folks, I do my best. It's honest work. It's not much, but I do my best. So bear with me. All right. Like I said, it's the shade sometimes. Sometimes they're just, it messes with my vision here. All right. But again, I got my boy here to back me up. So, we're A-okay. We will ride this out together. But
my boy's got alligator skin in there. You can't penetrate that.
It made me laugh at the end of the day. I was like, man, he's so right. It reminded me of that one time where we were talking about what was that place in Washington? I'm like, Shahilis? You're like, oh, it's Shahilis.
No, Shahilis. Well, and then the energy drink, remember?
I was like, starts with a Z. What did I say? It starts with a Z?
No, it started with a Z, but I'm like, Zions, But I mean,
Here we are, though.
Here we are. Look at us go.
We're still evolving. We're still going, baby. It's only up from here. But yes, we wanted to point that out. So, thank you for that lovely comment. It made our day. But as we proceed, all right. So something, all serious society. We do get serious here on the pod, all right, people. It's not all laughs and jokes here. We try to just stay on the level side of things, right?
Sure.
So last weekend, obviously something tragic happened last weekend here in Seattle. We're very close to Seattle here. Probably I would say an hour, maybe 30 minutes away, you would say, right?
It depends on the traffic.
Yeah, it depends on traffic too. I-5 can get pretty busy. But there was a shooting that occurred at the Bite of Seattle. Now, before we get into it, have you ever been to the Bite of Seattle?
No, but I had a buddy that was there that weekend.
Really?
And I sent him a text making sure. Well, I shouldn't tell you the exact text.
Yeah.
I asked if he had lead for lunch.
Okay.
And it's just totally, and I didn't know if he was okay or not, but that was the text I sent. And I was just hoping that he was okay. I was hoping he was okay.
But okay, so I did go many years ago. I did go one time. I would say some of the food is fairly overpriced, my opinion. Some food looked good though, so I say it's well worth it, but it's neither here or there. But one thing that did come to mind when all this was happening, because I remember the day of, my wife had told me like, hey, this is what's going on at the Bite. Did you hear about this? I'm like, no. And she was live streaming. I forgot. I think it was Como at the time when it was happening. But I remember, like, I got an instant flashback that day that I did go a few years back, there really wasn't any security, nor that I remember, like, cop presence in that area during that time. And one thing I think to myself too, like at an event of that level where there's going to be a lot of people, because the Battle of Seattle is a pretty big, well-known thing that happens in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
You would think there would be reinforcements there just to kind of make sure, keep everything tame, make sure everybody's good for everybody's safety, right? But no, it seemed like there really wasn't that much, or at least to have people like main entrances, right, to make sure that people are just, maybe getting patted down or just making sure, everything's cool, everything looks good, something of that level. But it seemed like there wasn't any of that. Mm-hmm. But so, unfortunately, there was a shooting there last weekend, right? It was last weekend?
Yeah.
Last weekend, right?
Yep.
And it was a shootout that broke out, and unfortunately, from what I'm seeing here, I think the number's gone up. I'm not sure, but it led through people that unfortunately had passed away and 4 people that were wounded.
Yep.
So one of the things that is making headway in the news waves right now is just how poorly city officials had failed to handle the press, but nonetheless been able to use resources that we have in place to be able to piece the pieces together and find the people that were involved with this. I know one of them did not end up making it, right? One did get caught up in the crossfire. I think one of them did get caught, and another one's on the loose.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So I think if correct me if I'm wrong too, as I'm saying this.
No, you're on it.
So the timeline, right? So according to this, it happened at 5:55 p.m. A dispute breaks out near the crowded Seattle Center Armory. Multiple pew-pewers pull out firearms, later discovered to include a quote illegal ghost gun. Do you want to explain to the people what a legal ghost gun is?
Well, so technically, right?
Yeah.
It was not a ghost gun in its technical term. It was a polymer kit.
Okay.
That they had used. A ghost gun is something you can put. It's a 3D printing program, and they can print all this. But this was actually a polymer kit.
Okay.
That somebody had bought. So there's that. The other thing I want to stress here is that me, at least, I'm not going to beat around the bush. The city of Seattle, city officials, and even much of the media has really been too skittish to say this was a gang shooting, but this was absolutely a gang shooting.
You got to call it for what it is. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, you got to do it. I mean, because and this is part of the issue that we're going to go into with the lack of communication, the poor communication, the miscommunication, the omission of facts, and this and that. And so, yes, so this was a gang related. Two separate gangs had seen each other, ended up getting into a little squabble, but whatever. But anyway, and then they used these untraceable firearms.
And it shows here that one of them was equipped with an automatic switch. With what a switch is, people don't know. It makes the firearm at that point, that handgun, pretty much fully automatic.
Fully
right?
automatic, yep.
So pretty deadly, right? So 5:56 p.m. Witnesses accounts hit emergency lines reporting 7 to 8 rapid gunshots. Mass panic ensues as thousands of festival goers flee. Around 6 o'clock, first responders arrive. They find a 19-year-old suspect, Junior C. Nico Simo, unalived on the ground. Tragically, 2 innocent bystanders, Carlos Villalaba and Ashley Whitehead, are also mortally wounded. 6:15 p.m., officers sweeping the perimeter locate and apprehend the first living suspect, a 15-year-old male found fleeing with a polymer 80 handgun, right? That's what we just said.
And also in that, I didn't see it. A 2-year-old was hit with that, and it's like yeah. I mean, it's just there's so many questions, right?
Yeah,
and you're probably going to go into it, but if you miss anything, I'll be sure.
So while the tactical response just took 20 minutes to catch the first suspect, the administrative response took over 5 hours to brief the public. This massive communication blackout led directly to the forced resignation of Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes.
Yeah. So in that,
Yep.
SPD, as with all of the bashing going on and the finger pointing and the blame game, the people that cannot be blamed in this is SPD. They responded on this so quick. They did everything that I can see they did right. The police officers who were there and responded, in my eyes, they did everything right. Everything that they could.
And also another thing that I was thinking about too, this is kind of after the fact, like maybe during the week, Dave, like last Monday and last Tuesday, a lot of reporters, when they were finally, they had the Katie Wilson, right?
Yeah, Mayor.
Mayor Katie Wilson came out, and at the time, the chief of police, they were getting asked, well, how come you guys didn't hear as this was already happening? Because think about it, social media, people via text, like as it's happening, you should be able to already, been aware of what's going on. And it seemed like it took you 5 hours to figure out, this took place. Yep. And I think that people should know the truth. Like, who dropped the ball? What happened?
What is the threat?
Yeah.
What does the community need to know right now?
Exactly. And it just seems, to me, it's pretty ludicrous that 5 hours to brief the public. For what reason? Like what? So there's a 5 hour delay for what reason?
Well,
That's
there were texts going back and forth between the mayor and the governor, and it just looked like the perception was socialist mayor Katie Wilson was trying to get all of her pals in there for a photo op. They wanted this photo op, so they wanted everybody to be there. Pramila Jayapal, whatever her name is, she's the socialist, and police chief Sean Barnes. They wanted all the faces. Governor Bob Ferguson. They wanted all the people there so they could say, "Look at what we're doing."
Yeah.
And they fumbled the ball, and then text messages were showing that Bob Ferguson actually wasn't to blame in this. It really all came down to socialist mayor Katie Wilson.
So, okay, the communications disaster timeline. So 7:30, this is 90 minutes post-shooting. While the FBI joins a manhunt for a suspected third shooter, 0 official alerts are broadcasted to surrounding neighborhoods. Rumors of inactive sniper run rampant on social media, terrorizing the city. Really?
Yeah, I didn't hear that myself,
wow.
but yeah.
Crazy. So 9:15 p.m., 3 hours post-shooting, the press corps is corralled into a media zone. They are promised a joint briefing by Mayor Katie Wilson and Chief Barnes, but the briefing is repeatedly delayed with 0 explanation.
Well, their explanation was, we are waiting for dignitaries.
So break that down for something like me. When I hear that, I'm like, wait, what? So what does that mean?
Dignitaries. Yeah, what they're it's a funny word, right? It's a word that you only use for like
Sounds funny.
Super important people that are there to take care of the situation.
Aren't you the important people though? Like, you're not the mayor of the city?
but it's like a term that you use for someone higher, like the president and his dignitaries are there to talk peace with Iran, something like that.
Okay.
But when you're using such a big word and you're just a mayor, just a
All right,
governor,
chill out. Chill out, all right?
Yeah, like, hey, we're waiting for the governor, we're waiting for whatever, right?
Yeah.
Just say it. We're waiting for the important role players in this. But over and over again. And it's like, it just reminds me of children that just learned this new word and they're like, yeah, we're waiting for dignitaries, and it's like, dude, you just learned that word 30 minutes ago and now you can't stop using it. Right. And it was so childish on every level.
Yeah.
And, Sean Barnes, it's so funny because I found myself going back and forth. He's not the greatest guy ever. He has kind of a weird past, and and he was brought into the department under some weird circumstances under the former Mayor Bruce Harrell, and then he was handpicked by Mayor Bruce Harrell. Sean Barnes he was the chief of Madison, Wisconsin. And he was dealing with some stuff over there that, whatever investigations found he was clean with everything. So I'm not even going to bring all that up. All I know is that there were some things there. But so he was handpicked by Mayor Bruce Harrell, mayor at the time, Bruce Harrell. And then he gives him the polygraph test. The polygraph test showed that he didn't even pass the thing. You have to pass this test. You're supposed to pass this test in order to get that job. He did not pass and was given the job anyway. And so then you're just like, okay, this is not going to be good. No matter what. All it takes is one crisis for this to go sideways.
Yeah.
So then, Socialist Mayor Katie Wilson comes in. This is her first job. She still lives with her parents. She got a fine for campaign violations by using the money for babysitting or some weird stuff like that. Something like that. You'd have to check my facts on that.
Let's look it up. That's crazy though.
But so she is like basically this adult child, and this is her first job, and so now you pair this up with a mayor. Oh
yeah, right here. Yeah. So Seattle. Sorry to cut you off. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson's election campaign was fined $250 for failing to report over $10,000 in child care support provided by her parents during her 2025 race. The city's ethics commission ruled these funds counted as, quote, unreported in-kind contributions rather than a direct campaign disbursements.
Yeah, $250 fine, right? That'll teach her. I'll never do that again. You know like,
what I hear?
a speeding ticket costs more than that.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, she lacks the experience. Every time she's up at the podium,
Yeah.
it's plain as day that she just is in way over her head. And even Sean Barnes, like I was kind of watching his reaction, and there were just like these little subtle, I mean, just the smallest, subtlest thing, but you could see that he did not respect her. He had no respect for her whatsoever.
Jeez.
And so then push comes to shove, and he's out.
Yeah.
He's out. Yeah. She's the boss. He's out. But the funny thing is he got like almost a $700,000 severance package.
And where does that come from, Brett? Where do you think that money comes from?
if you were complaining about buy to Seattle prices, you're gonna love paying higher taxes.
That's man, dude. You can't make this up, people. And you look at this where the one thing I think about these are the people that are running the city.
And well,
that's insane to me, dude.
It's insane, right? And the money, the waste. I mean, there is
everything.
We've got two former governors who have come out talking about this reckless policy of the millionaire's tax and how, again, socialist mayor Katie Wilson has just chased these businesses away.
Yeah.
These businesses that have been here, that employ hundreds of people, maybe some thousands, whatever, and she's just chasing them out of state.
Bye.
And so like bye. Yeah. And that's what she said to Sean Barnes. Like bye. But I mean, I have a prediction. I don't think she's going to make it much longer.
You think she's going to act?
She's just going to realize that, you know what?
That's going to be a hot shirt.
I probably shouldn't be doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I should probably step down. So we'll see. We will see.
Give us out in the comments if that happens. Hey, we're not saying we hope it happens. I'm just saying if that's what comes down to it. My boy would be willing to wear that like bye incident on a shirt.
Like bye. Yeah. If she leaves prematurely, sure, I'll have a shirt made. And the other thing, the thing that goes into that is that she cannot even keep her staff. Her staff is leaving left and right. She can't keep her staff. She has I think I saw a job posting for a new communications director.
Yes, I did see that. Yes.
Who wants to do that?
Oh, man.
Who would be foolish enough or desperate enough to take on socialist mayor Katie Wilson's to be her whatever communications director? That would suck.
What is it? Also, so one thing I wanted you to touch base on too, because it was a thing that you wanted to bring up and touch on the pod since we're on this topic. Give us a breakdown and just tell me your thoughts of when the former police with the confrontation with the reporter. Yes.
With the reporter.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So this was okay. So this is where Sean Barnes was completely out of pocket. Right. So yes, thank you. I actually forgot about. The part that was Sean Barnes, the criticism with him was that he didn't even live in Seattle.
Yeah,
he was living in Chicago,
right? Yeah.
His wife is over on the East Coast, and so he would be constantly going over there. So anytime, the weekends came or whatever. Now on this particular weekend, he was down in Dallas, and they were doing some sort of a reward function or whatever, where him and other Seattle police were getting recognition. That's fine. That's that. Without all of the previous travel, this probably wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah.
But what the issue was that this investigation started to open up the fact that, like, dude, you're never here. You're getting paid $386,000 a year.
Damn.
And you're not here. So the interviewer was pressing him on that.
Asking questions too. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
The journalist's job is to get the answers for the questions that the community has. And that was a very, very common question at the time. And so when he pressed him, Sean Barnes got in his face like he was going to hit him. And I was like, oh, that's going to be a payday.
Yeah, they're about to squabble right
he's
there.
angry.
Yeah.
And I kept asking myself, if this keeps happening, right, if he makes it, I didn't know if he was going to make it through this or not.
Yeah.
I actually assumed he was going to make it, though. I said, they let kind of anything go.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, what about when something happens in the next? Is he going to blow his top? Is he going to assault a reporter? Because it looked like he wanted to assault that reporter.
It looked like
and it
a
was
heated
other people that
confrontation,
pushed him away. It wasn't even Sean Barnes that stepped down.
Yeah.
As far as the tape that I saw, it looked like other people had pushed the former chief away from the situation. And, the reporter, he was just standing his ground. He's just holding his mic right in his face, like waiting for an answer, sir.
Yeah, man. That's it. This really just seemed like a mess, honestly. Overall, the whole thing just seemed like it was poorly handled. There really was no plan of attack. They asked about the CCTV cameras, right? I think if correct me if I'm wrong, they were talking about that, if they were even on. And they were like, well, there was footage that was captured where it happened. I'm like, have you reviewed the footage? No, we haven't. What do you mean? So what are you guys doing? That's the question too. Like, what's going on in regards to using everything you have in regards to footage to figure this whole thing out?
But I think part of that is because he was busy cleaning up Katie Wilson's mess. She created such a huge mess with all this. It couldn't even allow him to do his job.
That's
so
crazy.
He was, in the way I see it is he wasn't even able to do that, but he can't say that.
Yeah.
That's his boss. He can't say that. He can't throw it under the bus. So, but he can get a severance package of $700,000.
He's going to ride the sunset, just,
And
man.
I'm hearing whispers that he might actually sue the city on top of this.
You can't make this
I mean,
up,
at this point, it just becomes
this
comical, right?
You could run from there, man.
And then the mayor, so Bruce Harrell, the guy that hired,
yeah.
so he got himself in a situation, I think it was like in 96, there was a parking dispute. There was a parking spot dispute. And so like him and this other car were going for this parking spot, right? So then he ends up losing his cool and pulls a gun on this lady who's pregnant 8 months.
What the hell?
Yeah, this lady was 8 months pregnant, and she wanted this parking spot. He wanted the same parking spot. He pulls a gun on her, and so
oh my word. So this happened in September 1996. Former Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell was arrested in Council Bluffs, Iowa, following a parking lot confrontation outside a casino. Damn it, the casino.
Yeah,
where he allegedly displayed a handgun. 3 misdemeanor charges were filed: carrying a weapon in a vehicle, assault display of a weapon, and interference with official acts. All charges were officially dismissed 6 months later in March 1997 after Harrell completed requirements that included apologizing to the arresting officers. Harrell stated he carried the unloaded weapon for protection after receiving death threats over a controversial House board nomination and maintained he was a victim of racial profiling during the incident.
Yeah, so
if you're going to carry a gun, you might as well carry it loaded.
So he must have been scared of that 8-month pregnant woman. The fear was running through his bones. Wow. That's your former Seattle mayor. I mean, it's just like, what is going on, Seattle? Seattle's just been a mess for a while now.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. They drop it off there. Thank you. Shout out to wifey.
Nice. I thought it was the ATF for a second.
You were like, well, this is how
the show's over. The IDF is here to pick me up.
Oh man, but no, it goes from that, and then also having a mayor that's never had a job.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, the people they pick, the people. I'm like, at this point, it's like, what are the
a
requirements?
Police chief who can't pass a polygraph test. I mean, just throw it all together.
That's what I'm saying. I keep joking with you, but I mean, sometimes I'm like, man, I think you could do. You should run for mayor, bro. At this point,
I mean, dude, I would get JFK so quick down there. my first, I mean, I don't even want to tell you what my first plan of action would be.
I
but
can only imagine what would
it would take the
happen.
National Guard, I'll tell you that.
Oh, but on a serious note, though, I think this could have been handled way better. It is unfortunate of the loss of life that you know that didn't make it
100%.
through all that. On a serious note, but it just comes to show, man, we need the right people in the right positions to really steer the ship correctly and just, run the city like it should be ran, man. At this point, because it's like, dude, Seattle has so much potential. The one time that I remember seeing it to where, like, man, like it could be like this every day, when we went to a concert and we made it there probably around like 5-6 o'clock. This was like a month ago. And this was the time during the World Cup, and down by the Seattle, where they were showing the soccer games at, people they're having a good time. They're repping their what is soccer jerseys, whoever was playing that day. But everybody was just having a good time. Laughs, people together eating at those different restaurants. I'm like, man, this is what it could be right here. But
we could have that, or we can, if we keep going on this path, we're gonna end up as a Detroit.
Yes, exactly. No, but this on a serious note.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna just go further into the ground. So we need some change. Hopefully, we're optimistic over here. We hope for the best, but we will see what the future holds for us. So what I'm saying? So
for sure.
Okay, so the last thing on the agenda today on this lovely episode here. So again, a reminder for you folks: if you like what you listen to, definitely follow us on all our major streaming platforms. We're Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, you name it. We're everywhere. So the whole flock camera debacle, it's still a major topic within the interwebs and just overall in society. I think it's a big thing. It's a serious thing that it's being magnetized to where, what's the website where we can see where all the cameras
DFlock.
are? DFlock. Is it dflock.com?
.org.
All right. You go to dflock.org and you'll see, you get in your address there and you will see how many of these cameras are within your area. And I know around where I live, people, there's maybe, I would say four or three.
Yeah.
Something like that. So,
and before you go in,
of
to
course.
segue into it,
Yeah.
it's actually Seattle has cameras, flock cameras down there, and they have all been shut off, and that's where a lot of the community is sort of in an uproar about that. But that we'll save that. I just want to throw that in there, that piece, and then when you go into this story, we can reopen that one back up.
So flock safety cameras, those small solar-powered surveillance boxes attached to poles on the side of the road, they are targeted so they can fight crime. Tools that are meant to scan license plates and alert police if a stolen vehicle enters a high crime area. But civil liberty groups like the ACLU are exposing a much darker reality. These cameras don't just read characteristics on a license plate. Flock's AI logs the make, model, color, roof racks, and unique bumper stickers of every single car that passes them, uploading it into a searchable nationwide database. One thing right there, right? Like you said, who has control, or who? There were some stories that there was like a gentleman too that was stalking, I think, a certain individual, and they were able to log into the database to see where this individual was driving to and all that. So, I mean, people, if that's just one case, don't you think there's numerous people that are already looking into where whoever it is they're looking for and are able to see every single move that they're making within that range where these cameras are at?
You want to know my conspiracy on
All right,
this?
no, let's go. Let's hit it. Let's get it. Let's go deep.
So this is what I think
All right.
can totally happen.
All right.
Is so all these people that know how to use these flock cameras, manipulate, and so if they are keeping tabs on a person, they can get a pattern. Mm-hmm. Then let's just say I go to another town, and I'm going through, I'm taking the same route every day, so they can sort of predictively assume, they can predict that I am going to take these certain roads at this certain time.
Yeah.
Well, what if they had a guy that looked like me, right? So say they're, radioing, okay, hey, I see him coming out of the house. He's wearing this. So make sure our decoy or whatever, our stunt double, is wearing something similar. Mm. And so then then they do some sort of heinous crime with your lookalike that they have created. Maybe CIA, whoever, anybody. But it has to be someone who has access to this, because then what they do is then they use the cameras and they say, oh, we got a reading. Oh, he's here now. He's here now. Okay, at this point, we need him. We know he's going to be in this area where he is going to be off camera. And, you know, the likelihood of him being able to defend himself as far as his location is low. So this is when you do the crime with the double. And then they get other cameras that show the double. And then all of a sudden, my pattern, now they show me coming back. But then on the way back, they apprehend me by my license plate because the crime's been committed. They already have the lookalike. And then I'm arrested wearing the same looking clothes.
So you're pretty much talking about framing you.
Framing you. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's just be very vigilant of what's going on, people. We're just bringing this up to you folks so you guys are aware of what's going on, what's really happening right now. We're not just making this up. I wish we were. When we would joke around artificial intelligence years ago, I remember we would talk about that. I think around the same time we would talk, we just got to know each other, right? We met each other. And I think those conversations got brought up, like about a supercomputer being able to do all this and that. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, now here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing that gave me that idea was that story that we covered a couple episodes ago with the lady with the mistaken identity. Yes. And then the Ring camera catches that other lady that looks just like her.
Same vehicle and everything, yep.
No.
Porch pirating.
The lady didn't have a vehicle in that thing. It was just
the Rivian, whatever it's called?
Yeah, the Rivian.
Yeah.
The porch pirate, they didn't show her going into a vehicle. They were just saying
that's right, yes.
Your vehicle is here. Here's someone who looks just like you.
It matched with the time that you this happened.
Yeah, thing. That's what gave me that conspiracy theory. It was like that was an accident, but you know, there's people out there that are like, oh, but we can actually frame this person, and then they, you know, depending on how bad they want to frame someone, they can put flock cameras up, even if they're up there temporarily.
Yeah,
but they can put those flock cameras in a way where they have their target. Like, okay, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him.
And just a little fast fact about this. So Flock Safety's network captures over 1 billion vehicle reads per city monthly in some metropolitan hubs. By placing cameras in low traffic, zero crime areas, critics argue the objective shifts from investigating crime to building a permanent searchable map of innocent citizens' daily habits without a warrant.
There are so many false readings. These cameras are they like, I was reading one story where the license plate, it was supposed to be an 8, but the flock camera said it was a 9. And so then they arrested, once again, a wrong person. So now what that's doing, right, is now you're invading, like you're really disrupting people's lives.
Yeah.
Innocent lives. Like this is where it's just like, this has got to be sort of a thing where if you are going to use the surveillance camera, for one, everybody already has Ring cameras on their houses.
Yep.
And if they want to give them up, they have the opportunity, they have the choice, right?
Yeah.
And so here, you can have this, or you can get a warrant for it, or whatever, right? But now it's like they've taken all of this authority, self-imposed authority, to say, no, we're going to do it anyway. And then they say, oh, well, when you're in public, you don't have the right, or you don't have the expectation of privacy. Well, I think there was a court case that said, actually, you do. You can't be monitored at everything, because then they're just going to literally look for crime. So if we're running short on our budget, like Washington, the state of Washington, we just have absolutely no budget.
Yeah.
I mean, our budget's just blown, right? So then if they decide, okay, you know what? They'll leave Seattle alone. They'll leave them alone, but they'll start tracking the working class in the outside cities, and then they'll start putting all these cameras up, and then they'll look for every little thing. They have these cars now with these cameras that are driving through, and then, you know, with the intent of driving through neighborhoods. Hey, is your grass too long? And then all of that kind of stuff. It's a money grab for all of these cities and counties. It's just overboard at a time when our economy is so bad. The people don't have the money. So many people, like they said I was reading the statistic, and it said something like 56% of people do not have, what was it? Oh man, I missed it. But something like they don't have enough savings. They cannot afford any type of a situation to happen, financial hardship to happen, or it's game over.
So one of the things too that just came to mind, right? This happened to me when we first moved into our house, when we got it, right? The waste management had sent us a letter saying that we weren't properly disposing trash in the right bins, that the camera picked up objects that weren't supposed to be in that bin, but we weren't the ones that filled up those bins. They were already put out. I didn't even bother to check them because they're already full, so I'm not going to throw anything in there. But they gave us a warning saying that the next time it's going to be a $50 charge if they catch me doing that again. But it wasn't even me. But this goes in hand where there's cameras that are attached inside the truck hopper or armed to photograph your bin serial number and capture the contents as they dump into the truck.
Isn't that
So this is what's happening. I mean, just folks, people don't know, or they'll send you like a warning in case you're not supposed to put stuff like maybe your recycle bin, your regular trash bin, or your compost bin, right? Be careful because you're gonna ding you for that $50 that they try to do me. You know what I'm saying?
But
so that's an example of what you're saying.
These data centers going up, that's why they need these huge data centers so they can say, okay, Brett, we know that this is what you throw away. You did this, and they can track. I mean, they can literally know more about you than you know about yourself.
Yeah.
It's just, it's disgusting. And it is the biggest invasion of privacy I have ever seen in my life. I mean, this is stuff that we laugh at China about. You know, oh, look at you in your 15-minute cities. Got to get permission. Well, now they're going to make us have. That's what they're trying to condition us to for. And this is why we have to stay loud. We have to stay vigilant. And we have to really just get the word out there.
Push back on this big time,
Push
man.
back.
Yeah.
Because is this really the world you want to live in? And don't let them tell you that it's all about safety. There's nothing that has any safety concern about what you're throwing away in your trash, how long your grass is and your HOA, none of that. That's none of their business, and it has nothing to do with safety. It's all about money, and that's what we have to get used to when we hear about these new invasive technologies coming into our communities. Is they're always going to say safety. We have to say you're lying, and we're not doing it.
Yeah, you deserve one of these right here. Perfectly said. I felt like you rapped on that too.
Not really. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, no, same here. Hey, man, and that's the thing too. With this podcast, we just want to give you a heads up. Hey, this is what's coming down over there. You know what I'm saying? Just give you a heads up. Keep you informed in the best method that we can, and just the best way that we can just let you guys know. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Trying to make it entertaining and all that. But brother, before we wrap this up, can you grab me that bag that my lovely wife had dropped up for us? If you can pick it up real quick. I was meaning to give this to you on the last episode, but obviously I had I totally forgot. So check this out. I'm gonna give a proper shout out, and I want to make sure I get this correctly. Hold on. Here, I'll let you have this since it's already open. But
okay,
check that out. Maybe it's your right size.
Let's see. Oh yeah, baby! Look at that.
Show it off to the camera. Show the swag out. Hell yeah! So we want to give a big shout out to P&G Creations. They do direct to film, sublimation, vinyl decals, stickers, glitter tumblers, custom apparel, and gifts. And they are on Instagram. So they do no minimum orders required, no setup fees, embroidery, jackets, left chest jacket back, sweaters, hoodies, t-shirts, caps, beanies, tote bags, makeup, and toiletry bags. And yeah, so we'll throw up the IG here. There's a QR code here, of course. I don't know if the camera will be able to pick that up, but we'll post up down below too if you want to have something custom made. Myra will hook you up.
They did good, man.
She hooked us up definitely with the shirts. I got myself one too. This was all on wifey's request, so check that out with the logo right here.
I love it.
Could this possibly be an idea that will spark to maybe potentially have merchandise down the road? Who's to say? We might. This could be the prototype here. We're just playing like it's a gift for us. We don't know yet. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? So Yeah, right there. We'll rock this here in the next episode.
I love it, man.
So, yeah,
that is dope. I love it.
That's for you, brother.
I love it. I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear it every episode.
That's your new jammy.
My new uniform. I love it.
All right.
That's where you get the old.
Oh. There you go. No reloading. It's already chambered. You're just gonna shoot. No pun intended. We just, no pun intended. But
it's AI.
It's AI, right? It's AI. But we're gonna close this one out, people. Again, we want to remind you the one free way you can support the podcast, most definitely. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. We're on TikTok as well. Those are the only places that we upload our clips. Anything in regards to the podcast, we are there. But if you're more of the audio, what was that?
X as well.
X as well. We're on X too. What's the plug for that? At Beyond.
Let me get it.
Before my boy pulls it up. But if you're an audio head strictly for it, if you want to just listen to the audio, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, all the major streaming audio platforms. We are there. So search us up. You can all Google us. We'll definitely pop up on the Googles.
Yeah.
What's the X?
At B_E_pod.
Okay, so follow us there on
Beyond
X.
Expectation Podcast.
And we always do our best to plug it in the description here on YouTube, so you'll find all of our usernames down below too, so check that out. But anything else, brother, you want to say to the lovely people before we wrap it up?
I think we're good, man.
Okay,
I think
we're good.
Yeah, we got all the topics.
All right, sweet. All right, so we'll catch you on the next one. We love you. Stay safe out there. Take care. Till the next one. Peace.